I almost didn't go. That's the part my friends would laugh at the most, because they know me. They know I'd rather spend a Sunday afternoon sanding a chair in my workshop than sit across from a stranger and pretend I enjoy small talk. They call me the lone wolf, like it's some joke, like I'm secretly sad about it. The truth is, I've always liked quiet. The kind that smells like pine and fresh-cut wood. The kind that lets you breathe. But when my phone buzzed on Friday night and Derek wrote, "Blind date, Sunday, 3 p.m. Lakeview coffee by the water," I knew I was in trouble, not because I wanted it. Because they wanted it for me. My friends have this habit of treating my single life like a group project. Like if they just push hard enough, they can force me into something romantic and then take credit for it. They've pulled stunts before. One time they signed me up for speed dating and I got stuck with a woman who spent 20 minutes talking about her pet iguana like it was her child. I still hear Derek's laugh when I think about it. So when he texted, "Trust us, you'll thank us later," I stared at the message and shook my head. "Fine," I typed back. "But if this is another iguana situation, you're buying rounds for a month." Derek replied with a bunch of laughing emojis and a promise that felt suspiciously vague. Sunday came too fast. I was in my workshop behind my cabin, halfway through sanding a cedar chair. Sawdust clung to my arms. The air smelled like sap and wood glue. Harley, my rescue mutt, was sprawled out on the floor like he paid rent. He lifted his head when I stood up, tail thumping once, then dropped it again like he knew I was about to do something dumb. My cabin sits on the edge of Colorado Springs, tucked against a hill of pines. It's small, wooden, creaky in the winter, but it's mine. Most nights I sit on the porch with a beer and listen to the wind whistle through the trees. No drama, no noise, just the life I built with my own hands. That's why a blind date felt like a prank waiting to happen. I checked the time, 2:20. I could still bail, claim my truck wouldn't start, pretend I forgot. Nobody would be shocked. But something in me didn't want to give my friends the satisfaction of calling me scared. So I washed my hands, changed into clean jeans, a flannel shirt, and my scuffed work boots. I didn't try too hard. Trying too hard is how you lose. Harley followed me to the door, ears perked like he wanted in on the adventure. "Not today, buddy," I told him, scratching his head. "Guard the cabin." He blinked slow, like he didn't believe me, then flopped back down. The drive to Lakeview Coffee took 20 minutes. The closer I got, the more it felt like a setup. I kept expecting Derek's truck to be parked outside, waiting for me with a camera and some stupid sign. But when I pulled into the lot, it was just a normal Sunday afternoon. Families walking by the lake, couples on benches, a guy jogging with a golden retriever. No Derek, no prank crew. Lakeview Coffee was cozy, all wooden beams and big windows facing the water. The lake outside looked like glass, reflecting the pale blue sky. Inside, it smelled like roasted beans and cinnamon, the kind of place where people sit for hours with laptops and pretend they're writing novels. I ordered a black coffee and picked a table near the window. 3 p.m. came. Then 3:05. Then 3:10. I sipped my coffee, staring at my phone like it would explain what was happening. No texts, no updates. Typical. My friends probably thought it was hilarious, letting me sit here alone, waiting, like the punchline of their joke. At 3:15, I decided I was done. I grabbed my cup, stood up, and that's when the door chimed. I looked up, ready to see Derek or one of my buddies walk in laughing. Instead, I saw her. She stepped inside, like she belonged there, like she wasn't nervous, like she wasn't trying. Her presence made the room feel quieter, even though nothing actually changed. She was older, probably close to 40, with brown hair pulled into a loose bun, soft strands curling around her neck. She wore a long, floral dress that moved gently with every step, and a cream-colored cardigan that looked warm enough to sleep in. She wasn't flashy. She wasn't loud. She was calm in a way that made my chest tighten. She scanned the room, and when her eyes landed on me, they didn't slide away. They stayed. And then she walked straight toward my table. My first thought was that she had the wrong guy. My second thought was that if she did, I hope she wouldn't figure it out too fast. She stopped in front of me, her smile light but warm, like she'd been smiling her whole life and never once used it as a weapon. "Zane," she said. My heart did a strange skip. "Yeah," I answered, standing up too quickly. My knee bumped the table and my coffee sloshed near the rim. "Great start, that's me." She laughed softly, not mocking, just amused, like she'd already decided I was human, and that was fine. "Elise," she said, holding out her hand. Her fingers were warm when I took it. The touch was quick, but it lingered in my skin after she let go. She sat down across from me like it was the most natural thing in the world. I blinked, still catching up. I looked past her shoulder, half expecting my friends to pop out from behind a plant. Nobody did. Elise leaned back, studying me with an expression that was equal parts curious and entertained. "I'm guessing we're victims of the same joke," she said. That made me breathe again. I let out a short laugh and nodded. "Yeah," I said. "My friend Derek thinks he's hilarious. He told me I'd thank him later." Elise's smile widened. "My friend Lisa said the same thing," she replied. "Told me to show up and meet a guy named Zane. She said I needed to get out more." I shook my head, disbelief mixing with something else I didn't want to name. "So you thought it was a prank too," I said. "Absolutely," Elise answered. "But then I figured, worst case, I waste an hour. Best case, I get a good story." I couldn't stop staring at her. Not in a creepy way. In a, what is happening to me way. She wasn't my type, if I even had a type. She wasn't a girl from the gym or someone with loud energy and perfect pictures. She was real, soft, steady, and she was beautiful in a way that didn't feel like it needed permission. Elise tilted her head, catching me looking. "Not what you expected?" she asked, voice teasing. Heat climbed up my neck. "Not even close," I admitted, rubbing the back of my neck. "I thought my friends would set me up with someone who talks about reptiles." Elise laughed, and it was the kind of laugh that made you want to hear it again. "No reptiles," she promised. "Just coffee and bad decisions." I surprised myself by smiling back. I sat down again, my hands suddenly unsure what to do. Outside the window, the lake shimmered under the afternoon sun. Inside, the air smelled like cinnamon and warmth. And across from me, Elise looked at me like she actually wanted to be there. "So Zane," she said, folding her hands on the table. "Tell me, how did you get roped into this?" I leaned forward without thinking, my elbows resting on the table. For the first time that day, I wasn't thinking about Derek. I wasn't thinking about my cabin. I wasn't thinking about leaving. I was just looking at Elise, feeling something start to pull me in, and wondering if my friends had accidentally done the one thing they never meant to, set me up with someone who could change everything. I told Elise